This video is brought to you in part by TruTech Tools, quality tools, essential support.
Okay guys, so here's what we got going on. We have a newer unit here that we installed 6 months ago, something like that. And it's got variable speed compressor on circuit A. What we've got going on is it's getting too warm. This is a variable air volume unit, meaning it puts out about 55 degrees on average. It was getting kind of warm in the building. So we come over here to our alarms. We are getting current alarms. We have a low SH, suction superheat or saturated superheat, whichever, either or. Either way, not good. That's your current alarms. Now, a little bit ago, if you go into your alarm history, we've got that low superheat thing on A circuit. We've had it on, had a configuration issue, compressor stuck on alarm. We've had another compressor stuck on alarm. It's happened multiple times on A2. We've had a circuit failure to pressurize alert on circuit A, some more SSH. So we've had 2 or 3 problems here, which are kind of crazy on a typical new system. This control panel is pretty slick. It's fairly new design. It's even more advanced in the new view and all that kind of stuff. And even some of the chillers pretty much don't need your gauges or anything else, because you can read everything that's going on, and depending on, you know, you've got menus here, so you've got your input, pressure, and this is really a simplified, dumbed down version. So I've went through and we've already looked at all the different pressures. They all are there. So what I'm figuring, low superheat, you could be missing a temperature transducer, a pressure transducer. You could actually be low on refrigerant, could have a sticking TXV or EXV. You know, there's all kinds of false pigeons there to kind of make you believe that it's truly whatever it's trying to tell you. So still kind of going through trying to figure out what's going on, because like I said, right now it's not giving me the compressor failure that it was giving me earlier. And this display, one of the things that really sucks about it is not friendly. As you can see, the glare sucks, and I'm seeing that same glare that the camera's seeing. So, and then of course you got to have the sun right there in your eyes, but hey, it's a very secured facility, to say the least, so we won't be able to show anything on the inside, which honestly there's nothing to even show on the inside, because all the controls are up here. There's nothing controlled from down below. Everything is based off of static pressure and temperatures and what you've set it for. So, and I did wire up the shutdown here for the smoke detector, which we had some older wire and stuff there. Checked all my fuses, breakers, all of those have power. We're at the high end, we're like 490, sometimes 500, so I mean we're at the very tiptoe top there. And whenever we get done, we got to go over to another federal agency of sorts that has a problem with their mini split, but we won't be able to do much, won't be able to show much in that. Okay, so we're going in here into some of the deep levels of the forbidden no-no zones. Let's see here, cooling set points, occupied 70, unoccupied 80, low cool saturated 60, high cool 55. I mean, everything, and that's what's crazy, is it's actually showing me that, you know, the current alarm is no longer a failed compressor, which, you know, we can go into, we got full-blown access here to do what we want. So we're all good on all that. We're just kind of poking around to see where is the malfunction. What's your major malfunction here, son? 4 in the morning till 1900 hours, which would be what, 7, 8, 9, yeah, 7 o'clock, Monday through Friday and holidays. Inputs, let's go to temperatures. Let's see if we can see refrigerant temps, because that's what you would need for your calculation. Okay, here we go. Suction gas temperature, 61 on the other and 57 on the other. They share it because they're together on one circuit. Air temps, see if they're out of whack. Supply, we're at 57.9, outside 70.9. This has reheat, it's got exhaust, it's got a buff and wax for your shoes, you name it. So it's got a little of everything. Nothing is standing out. That's the thing that sucks. It's like, well, then what's your malfunction, son? This is a new system to me. This controller is the only one I've seen like this. It's very similar to some of the new Carrier chiller units. Yeah, here we go. Speed, compressor A1 speed, 160 hertz, A2 speed 60. So yeah, the compressor A1 is your variable, 2 is your contactor style, and same thing with B1 and B2. So circuits B2 and all that are off. Now the reason why is we're finally at set point. So we've got a book here, and I'm not much one for reading, but if you look at it, startup instructions, install, there ain't crap in here really about service, anything like that. Air filters are all clean, air filters are all clean. You know, and the compressor failure thing, it's not doing it. Okay, there's your blowers, so there's no belts slipping. Oh, look at that. It's actually made in the USA. I wonder how long that'll last till it rusts. This was not a cheap unit, to say the least. This is why I don't like doing residential anymore. Once you get really good at it, it won't really matter, but to me, it's just, how many of you get to work on stuff like this? This is the only one we got around here like this. We don't have skyscrapers or no crap. I mean, that building over there, these are the tallest buildings we got. I mean, that's it. You can check suction transducers, see how those are. You've got one right here. It's not the one I need. Well, yeah, it is actually circuit B. That one's circuit B, which we're both doing it. Here we go. Yep, we just got to take this 600 screws out and we can get into there. Now we can get kind of in here to this, and on both of these. Now you can see we got some reheat gizmo gadgets in here. You can see up there we got one reheat 3-way valve there, and there's another one on right here. I think I can see that a little better. This one right here is B. There we go. Start this back up. We're at 165. Let's go to refrigerant type, 454. That's 63.9 degrees. It's 68 out. It's within 5 degrees. That ain't too far off. See what the old turn to the experts here says. Come on, expert. Tell me what your reading is. Okay, refrigerant pressure is 169. Circuit B, 166.6. So 7, 8, 9, I mean, it's 3 PSI. That's assuming mine's not off and theirs not off. There's 70, 170 almost. I mean, that's pretty doggone close there. I'd want to go grab a couple other gauges to make certain of, you know, who's right. So 169. The other one on A is 168. Go over here, see how that is before it switches on. Okay, it's 169 as well. So that one's almost, that's within 1 PSI, 169.8 versus 168. So it's a 2 PSI off on that one there. So, I mean, nothing is really crazy off there on that. I mean, not enough to like, I mean, unless we were like stupid low. Okay, we're looking at saturated temperature. So the saturated in Fieldpiece is 65. Saturated on the Carrier here is 64.4 and 63.9. So we're within a very minute amount. Here is your superheat temps, which were like zeros because we're just at the temperature that it's actually reading. All right, well, so either we're not given enough time, which I seen that's an option. Let's go in here. Let's go to reset alarms. Reset, go to yes, boom, hit set, boom. I turned that red to no more, current alarms gone, condenser fans are on. I guess if anything, we'll just watch the superheat here. Go into inputs again. Inputs is a nice little shortcut, I feel. That way it kind of gives you everything that's coming into the controller. So let's go to temperatures, because that already figured it out for us. Now we'll be able to watch superheat on A and B both at the same time, which makes, right there she goes. Oh, we got another storm coming, great. And there goes the condenser down. Superheat right now on B appears to be the one that's running. It's at 7, 8. See how long it takes for it to come out of that. Let's go ahead and hit start on the stopwatch. So currently we're at 9 and 10 degrees on the B circuit. We're set for 13. And go to outputs, let's see what's actually calling to run. B1 is on, A2 is off, so B1 is definitely on. So back to the inputs, let's go to pressure for giggles. 158, I got 158 right there, 158 right there, that's on A. On B, I'm sorry, that's not suction. B 130, ooh, wait a minute. Suction pressure on, oh, I'm on A though now. Yeah, we need to switch that back. but so far everything looking good. Let's go back to superheat, because by the time I get to it, it's not going to tell me a whole lot. Let's go back to temperatures, refrigerant temps. 11 and 12 degrees superheat. I mean, good grief, man. You can't ask for much more than that. I mean, you got a half a degree between the two. I don't know how it's doing that when there's only one circuit. And that's not too impressive. We may have to talk to our carrier rep and see if they've had an issue with this and kind of maybe go from there. We've got the probe switched over, so B, we're saturated B. That's 51 degrees, 133 on our pressure. So we've got 132, 133.9. I mean, good grief, come on, one dang pound, 2 pounds. So we're holding good at a lower, reading, so I don't like that display, man. You get grease, oil, whatever. So, I mean, I don't think that's an issue. We may just have temperamental device here. There's no real controls on this. This is basically controlling itself. Look at our sight glass. Now you gotta remember, no receiver. We're flashing like crazy because we're only running one compressor. Same thing over here, only one compressor. What are you supposed to do? Why don't it calculate for that? Why doesn't it shut down some of the condenser when you're not using all of it, so that you can keep a solid column and liquid and you don't have to fight the EXV? I mean, if you don't need the whole coil, why not shut it down like you do a refrigeration system on a grocery store? So, that's a little wacky. Not the first time I've seen that. Okay, right here, 75-ton unit, that's what we're working on. And reduced charge if you're above or below the section saturated temperatures there. That's hilarious. That's how you determine whether the charge is right? Okay, I still say it's ridiculous. Whatever. Well, I'm gonna go grab my big ass Fieldpiece clamp and check the suction saturated. We're gonna check the temperature. I don't know where they're getting the temperatures at though. See if they got anything on here, because I do not see any clamps or any type of temperature sensors. Yeah, these schematics suck ass. And then look how thick the print is. You can tell it's probably red, but man, it is so hard to read. There you go. I know you spent thousands of dollars on it, but why should we give you a good, easy to read print? It's just ridiculous. Where's this turd made at? There we go. Everything you need to know. Designed in the United States of China, assembled in Mexico. Everybody's leaving Mexico because this is a better place to come, and they sneak in here, but yet we go and have them build it because they're better at it? Or is it because they're cheaper labor? Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Lots of sense. And that ain't nothing against the Mexican people. I love them. They're great. My daughter just married one. So it's one of them things where it's just bull crap that they didn't give us a discount on this. There's no discount on this. Still the same price. Price didn't go down, but you made it cheaper, which means you made more money. No patriotism at all. I just left a message for my guy. Here we are again. We've got the compressor A2 failure warning, and we have compressor A pressure trip alert. So those are the new alarms we've got now. That's what I'm saying. We've got, how are we having all these problems? You know what I'm saying? I've already went through and double checked all the tightnesses and all that on the wiring, and it's just, I feel like we're getting a lot of wacko false alerts. Just loving it. Update. So sounds like software's an issue. We're like 2.8, there's supposedly a 3.3 that we probably would want to try. Sounds like they've had multiple updates. And of course my ladder fell and then all my screws went, so because it's windy up here. So we're gonna get in there and we're gonna look at the evaporators, but just chances are it's not a lot I can do. We're gonna make sure that our evaporator sensors are all in the right spot. It sounds like, from what I'm reading on the temperature sensors, that we have an EXV for each evaporator and a sensor for each one. So there's a good chance that, maybe one's off. What if they got the mismatched? I could see that causing a problem. All right, so we finally found our way into the evaporators. There are two EXVs for each evaporator, as you can see over there. And there is 2 suction temperature probes on that one and stuff there as well. The thing is, like he's saying, it sounds like it's a software issue. Kind of interesting, they've got this screen thing here. I think that's to keep the water from coming off the coil. What I was looking at here that I don't like is the copper here. Look at this copper. That has gouges in it where they've made that bend. So instead of soldering it, they made the bend. And you can see every one of those have got crinkle marks, and crinkling like that just makes me think it's gonna leak. I don't know, whatever. Then you get your little 20-cent freaking sensor there and there, which the volume of air coming through here, this thing would have to be like blowing right on it to go off. Kind of interesting. Yeah, and that's rifled too. You can see the rifling on the outside of it. It's a little difficult. I'm sure we probably can get into it. And then there's your reheat coil right there. What I was hoping to do is maybe unhook sensors and stuff and see if they change temp, make sure it's on the right one. It just seems awfully odd because it shut down. This ain't gonna run the way we got it. So need to check with somebody in charge, see if they want me to diddle dink with that or not, because that's kind of like potentially like digging in a little deep. So I guess if I was thinking, I would have went at this from the other side. It's a little bit tight, but we're getting there. Some shoddy looking work right there in there. I ain't even tight. Look at those. Those are gonna rattle until they leak. That's nice. There's is that a sight glass on that thing? That is. It's inspection glass. Look at that. That's cool. Just like on the big boy ones. Yeah, that'll never leak. Can't tell they got that hotter and I'll get out when they put it on, huh? And they melted all that in. Didn't even take it off before they did it. I'm loving it. And then your sensor is taped on right here. That says B, I think, down there, so that might be the one that we're wondering. But you know, A ended up doing it too. So the thought process is, okay, it did work last year. I asked our dude in charge what he thinks, if we should do it or not. He said, go for it. So I think, as much as I don't want to, I might be better off to go to the other side and put some wire ties on some of those capillary tubes, because those are going to rattle and eventually leak. You know, some manufacturers actually put plastic on that so they don't rub into each other like that. That looks like they just literally just taped it on. Problem is I got the unit shut off, so it's not going to read anything with the way I've got it right now. Okay, that's a little bit easier to get to. Don't know if I need to take both of them apart or not. I figure if one does and one don't like change temperature, then obviously we got the right one figured out, you know? We'll just put that back on and wire tie over top the outside of it. Take that dingly dang off. That's B2, A2. So what the crap, B2, A2? Did they do that? What the crap, B2, A2? How could that not be? Wait a minute here. Let's think about this. Okay, are we going to the same suctions? No, they're going to two different suctions. Okay, so yeah, that's what they did. They interlaced them. This was a problem they had, I forget how many years ago, but they would run A on top, B on bottom, or vice versa. And when they did that, you'd have all the coil sweating on one side, not the other. So now they interlink them so that they don't have as many issues. This was built July of 2025, according to that right there. So A1, B1. So they do have it, you know, working together. And this is A1 going to the top. And this should be A1 on top. And this one's kind of the top here on this. Yeah, kind of on the top to this. So I would say A1 and B1 would be, ooh, look at that. Look at that. You got a little bit of twist in that sensor. See that? That's not good. What our problem is, sometimes they get hot or cold like that and then they expand differently and everything goes to crap. Well, unfortunately, we'll have to run this thing for a moment. I'll go ahead and just put the door on temporarily. We got that secured, the two bolts at the top are screws. Let's go ahead and run it. Let's watch our temps and see if they go wacky. Don't really matter which one, because obviously we're hot now in the building. Oh, we gotta wait for this for 20 minutes. Okay, so as soon as it starts, we'll check it and we'll see what the Superheat does. We got it started up. Don't know which one's calling just yet. I mean, you can see Superheat 2 is dropping. See if we can go outputs first, see what the outputs are doing. Compressor B1 is on, and A1 safe stop is on. That's nice. B1 is on. So let's go to B1. Let's go to B1, 14 degrees, so I think. Either way, whether it takes a crap or not, suction gas temperature, here we go. Suction gas on B1, 66 degrees, 63 on the other. So obviously those should be a lot lower. I would say B1, since it's at 66 and the other one's at 63, the other one's not running and they're pretty much exactly the same. They're getting ambient temperature. So I'd say that one's accurate. A2 and A1, A1 is a little lower than A2. It appears that it's probably right. It should lock out here in a second, and either way, I think I'm gonna yank the door off. I'll warm it up with my hand, make sure it's on the right one. What sucks is you don't even know if the EXV is on the right one. Let's see if we can go to a stop. There we go, let's go to stop. Remote shut down, and now we can go in there and we can tinker with the temperatures and see if they change correctly when we mess with them. All right, so there's our temperatures. So all we gotta do is go grab a hold of it and make it warm, and we'll know that it's the right temperature probe to at least that part of it. Then we can do a test with the EXV and make sure that it opens and closes correct. A1 is what we're messing with right now. And this is that one, like I said, it has a little twisty twist going on. So we can just kind of rub and grub. A1 should be really freaking warm, or a lot warmer than the other ones. Should be up at least 70s. A1, okay. A1's up to 84. So that's accurate, good. So we know that's at least marked for the right one. Here's the other one right here. This one here should be B2. Go ahead and give it the old rub and grub. Okay, so B2. B2 should be warm now. B1. Huh. Look at this shit. B1 is 81 degrees. B1. Well, didn't we say B2? B1 is warm. Am I losing my mind? B1 is warm. Yeah, B2. So it's not accurate. So this idiot's got it freaking wrong. And the only reason why it probably worked last year, we had such a load on it, whereas today it's not much of a load. That's all I can come up with. It was hot and they got away with it. Holy dog crap. Are you flipping serious? That's assuming they got it on the right one. I mean, shouldn't they both be 1s and 2s? So like this one here is a 1, and that's a 1. It's a 2, and this is a 2. So you got your 2s and 2s together. So this is really B1. So that really needs to be down here. That would completely throw that off. So now you got to unhook the freaking wire ties and correct, well, that or just switch the freaking things. And what a flipping joke. You got them plugged in the wrong spot back at the board somewhere. Yeah, so we got to find out where the freaking temperatures are at. They could be very easily swapped. I just warmed up B1, which comes as B2, to make sure they are right, because technically you could have A and B switched around, and they are correct there. Now if we can figure out this schematic crap that you can't hardly read. Finally found which one it was. See this little harness here with 50 freaking different ones in it? So when you unplug that, it gets them all out of whack, and that finally took them out. You kind of figured it out eventually. If you stare and stare and stare, you eventually find A1, A2, and there's another resistor symbol thing here, but these are hooked together. You're better off probably just swapping them back at the unit, because there's no way, all said and done, you'd have to swap them inside that freaking thing right there. Okay, we loosened it up and was able to get it to reach. Of course, the one I actually needed was still pretty tight. We just need to make sure it works. If it does, great. At this point, there's only so much you can do with it. We got the wire ties on there. Gotta get this last one up here on top. Get everything wire tied back together. You cannot do this on a regular TXV bulb. This is only being done on a thermistor, because the thermistor makes the contact with it. Not a huge difference there when it comes to those, and that's how they had it before. And they know everything, so you know it's okay. But that's what we're doing there, and then we'll be testing it. Okay, it's all back together. Let's see if this thing runs. I did not check the EXVs. You know, where do you stop at? It's starting to rain, ain't that wonderful? Great. This thing's dragging its ass on getting started. It says it's starting. Okay, so checking refrigerant temps here. Superheat, 9.7, 12.9, 11.1, 12.8. Seem fairly normal. Suction temperatures, 62, 66, 63, 64. Alarms, currently, none. Go into status to see what's exactly going on right now. 49% capacity. So far we're doing pretty good, but oh, there went another stage of happiness starting. Okay, superheat so far. A little on the lower side on the A1, 7.9. Let's come on back up a little bit. There's 8.2, there you go. Close it down a little bit. You're gonna have a change when you start dumping into the other circuit, you know? I can only assume that they shut this EXV down. Probably could go to outputs to see what that's going on with. Compressor A1 command, 79%, A2, 100%, B1, 100%, B2, is off. EXVs, 52 and 69 on A circuit and 59 and 60 on the other. So what's funny is, even though it's not running, they're feeding through one of the evaporators with the refrigerant from the compressor, because in reality, that's probably why it's starving. I mean, you got one compressor pumping, but both EXVs are open. Why would you do that? I guess you got to go somewhere with it, maybe? I don't know, whatever. You'd think they'd shut it down. But yeah, now since we're under a heavy load right now because the building was hot, it's probably going to work a little crazier. Return 75, 56% humidity, supply air temperature 57, so we're getting doggone close. Full capacity 76, indoor fan speed 70%, 1 inch to 1.2 static. So let it roll, see what happens here. All right, guys, so this thing is still running without any problems. We're gonna probably come back on Monday and double check the firmware, see if we can get that updated. Unless something exciting happens, we'll just catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. Later.